Alrighty, there we go, we are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's good to be back. It is another day. It is actually the last day of CWL, and yeah, it's good to be almost done with the week. And hey Guts, it's good to see you, bro. We do have a pretty nice development, and yeah, I'm excited to show you guys how that is going. Good to see you guys. King BC, thanks for the follow, I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream, bro. And Saddam, it's good to see you. Abid, GDDG, good to see you guys all here early. Yeah, so this group standing actually turned out to be quite interesting. I do want to apologize for skipping yesterday's stream, and the biggest reason why I skipped yesterday's stream is due to the fact that it did come down pretty close down to the wire. You can see that the average destruction was almost equal, and all of my last 6 hits had to be triples, so I did want to have like the highest amount of focus I could have, and so that is essentially why I took the day off the stream. I did record those hits, so there will be a video coming on that soon. What happens in the overall clan thing. So after yesterday, us winning this war, it ended up becoming a two-way fight for getting out of demotion between Addicted to COC and Eternal. Although it does look like Eternal is going to pick up the win here, so that is unfortunate for Cooper's clan. And I do think that they will end up back in Titan 1 for next season. It's legend, there's no promotion. There is one clan demoting this week. That's the dead end, you're right. You're uploading a separate video day 6? Yeah, because honestly, it was super clutch. I had to lock in and get 6 triples, otherwise we were going to pretty much lose that war. And yeah, it does kind of spoil the results if you're here now hearing about the result, but it is what it is. And the other cool thing is the fact that Silent Army has lost. I mean, it's not cool for them, but it's cool for us because it does give us an opportunity to pick up another spot in the group standings. They're going to finish the week with 320 stars. Therapy will have 321 because they picked up the +10. And Display of Power actually managed to defeat Cup Up Baby, which is impressive for them, although they will still be finishing behind Cup Up Baby. I think that they actually needed to get 45 stars if they wanted to pick up first place, which is actually pretty insane that they even came that close. But for us, we will be aiming for 3rd place in the group, which is pretty cool. Definitely a nice way to at least end the week after some early struggles. The remaining 6 bases are all mine, of course. I will be going over those and the plans that I drafted for those. Although, to be honest with you, my plans I made earlier today were mostly for save 2 stars because we were looking pretty good, but unfortunately we did get a 1-star attack just roll in, so now I do have to be thinking about doing some triples, obviously. I mean, the goal is always 6 triples, right? But at the same time, I don't want to do anything too silly, you know? I do think that a lot of these bases are actually pretty tricky for me. It's been so long, can you please upload a tutorial of your army? It will help us understand more of how strong your army if possible. Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that you guys would benefit from is more so a tutorial on the setup rather than how to use the army itself, because this setup is actually pretty diverse. You can also use it with throwers like Faizy is. I will show his attacks. Let's start with at least one of his replays. He does use the giant arrow backpack together with 3 quakes, and the cool thing about it is the fact that he often goes for the same targets that I go for. So a tutorial on the setup could be very beneficial because it would suit a lot of different strategies, not just Hydra. And so the big idea is the fact that you want to essentially split the base in half like this, down the middle, but then you want to get a correct split, right? So that you have throwers headed one way and then the queen and the duke headed the opposite way. That's the idea. Although it is essentially the same concept with Hydra, where you have Hydra on this side and then the queen and the duke on the opposite side. He does like to use the log launcher to provide the most precise pathing for the throwers. I think in some cases that the troop launcher can work, but the throwers definitely need some support with opening the walls, so that's why those 2 sieges are the best options. Andy, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you. What's your opinion on Super Yeti and Electro Titans? That used to be a good combination before the modifiers, but I think now with the modifiers it's a little bit tricky to use those. And plus, can you upload more of your Legends attacks so we can learn how you approach every base in rank? Sure, I can try to do that. It's a little difficult for me, obviously, because of my work schedule, but I will definitely do my best to give you guys some more content. It does look like things got a little tricky for him over here because of this overgrowth. Maybe it wasn't a correct overgrowth. Obviously, he wanted the throwers to go and secure the tunnel, but as you can see, most of the base is already gone at this point, so I don't think he was feeling too worried about it. He still has another freeze he can use to control the logger, but it's probably going to end up being swag, right? King Beastie, you use dragons, BP, backpack, and giant arrow 3 quakes on CC? Yes, that is very similar to what I use actually. With Super Yeti and Electro Titans? I don't understand that. I don't understand. Do you mean you use it in the siege? Or you mean you use the you use this with the follow-up of Super Yeti and Super E-Titans? Yeah, that makes sense actually. With the torch, that could be pretty viable. It's not something I've ever tried or actually seen before, so I don't want to make too many comments on that. This is Faizy again here with backpack giant arrow with 3 quakes. I think this time he's going to aim for the revenge tower and the multi-inferno. At least if I was hitting the space, even with Hydra, I would aim for that. If I'm not mistaken, that is exactly what he's going for, yep. And actually, it looks like he missed the arrow. He meant to get that multi-inferno, obviously. But really, the most important thing here is that you have to get a correct split. So that's why the timing of everything is really important. So that's why he drops throwers at the very start, is because the throwers have a nice range. And so you can take advantage of that range to set up a pathing for the Duke to go over to the right, although I think that he missed it. The Duke does end up following the throwers, which is not ideal. He did send an Ice Golem to assist the Queen, which was nice. Does look like the Queen is going to pick up the multi-gear and all. Hopefully. And a totem. He used an invis and a totem to essentially recover the mistake he made with the Duke going off to his army. And that's another thing I really like about this army, is he really does have a lot of support spells to to get the, for example, if you make any kind of a mistake, you can recover it with all those support spells. I do think I will be giving this army a try today after my CWL attacks. You guys might see some of that on the stream. Let's just 4x this because it's pretty clear how the rest is going to play out. Pretty nice attack. He's so cool. Yes, he is. Yeah, you use it with the torch. That makes sense. With a mini champion charge, recall with the spears. It's funny because I used to use a strategy like that back when the torch was first introduced. I was using the RC together with Super Yetis. Krish, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Any advice for finding good bases? Just text me on Discord. That's really the best advice I can give you because I do have access to a lot of good bases. So in this case, he opts for the CC and the Fire Spitter. And the interesting thing is that the angle is actually not perfectly straight. Let's go back. I think that he actually needed to get a... Yeah, so normally if you shoot the queen directly from like the very... Like if you were to drop her over here, then she would get a perfectly straight shot on the army camp. But I think that he had to angle it just a little bit so that he was able to hit the Fire Spitter facing his army rather than the Fire Spitter facing away from it. Yeah, very slight adjustment to the angle. Very slight. But obviously getting the Fire Spitter facing your army is much more beneficial than getting the other one. I think potentially if he'd gotten this expo down a little sooner with the throwers that the Duke would have gone north towards the Revenge Tower. That might have been a little more ideal. Because as you can see, the Duke is following the throwers almost. Not quite, but he obviously was meant to send the Duke towards this way. An Ice Golem over here to assist the Queen. Or assist the King, excuse me, into the enemy Queen. I do think that this sort of outpost over here with the Super Wizard Towers and the Inferno together with an enemy hero is becoming increasingly popular. So an Ice Golem does seem to get good value there. And you can see how he's using some spells to assist the Queen, probably to try to take down the Revenge Tower. There's another totem and a skeleton. There's also a good angle for the revive for the Duke to go and secure the Revenge Tower. Which I'm assuming he'll do that in any second. There it is. And then obviously the rest is just letting the throwers clean up this base. I definitely think that the meta at the moment does suit throwers quite nicely. Especially together with the Rage Gem and the Life Gem. If there's any one thing that could potentially counter this strategy, I do think it's the Hero Hunter. I think that the Hero Hunter is a kind of slept on, but also kind of not optimized yet. I think that they're going to do some balance changes in the future to try to make the Hero Hunter a little more punishing. Maybe they'll change the mechanics so that it automatically retargets the heroes. What's your Discord? It's on the bottom of the screen. It's at diggitydhoom. Wix, you think that's interesting? He always puts the throwers first. Yeah, it's because of the timing. Actually, throwers need very less spells. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. Nice hits from Faiza. Yeah, he did a good job today. Yesterday he missed a couple, but it's not a huge deal. I managed to clutch that war up. And yeah, I guess now we can go ahead and look at the remaining bases which I have to hit. We can also look at some other replays after I finish my attacks. Today in Legends 2, my base got tripled even after all the healers are dead and 20%. Really? That's pretty crazy. They will split if we don't deploy throwers first, and the Duke might end up going with the throwers. Yeah, that's correct. The timing is very important, especially when you have a... I wish there was a... Let me see. I should be able to find some replay. But there's one of these bases that I could use as a good example. Doom, what do you do for a living? I sell shows. So if you're a performer, my job is to find you a place to perform. Not this base. Is it this one? Yeah, okay. This is actually a perfect example of why it's good to drop the throwers first. When you look at all of these buildings over here, like the Dark Elixir storage, the gold storages, the Ricochet, the multi-archer, and the Revenge Tower, there's a lot of HP down here. And the problem with having a lot of HP is if you don't get a good timing, then you can potentially have stuff go the wrong way. So here you can see that he uses the throwers to combat the enemy king. But then you have to clear all of this HP so that there's a correct split. This is often very tricky for people that are new to the strategy, is that they don't get the correct split. If I were hitting the space, I actually would have probably hit the Giant Arrow Backpack to hit maybe the cakes and the CC. But obviously that would have left the Revenge Tower up, so it does look like he was prioritizing the funnel in this case and getting a correct split. And so that's an example of why you should always drop the throwers first. That's an example. Sent a friend request, that's cool. I don't know which account you sent a friend request. It might be you as Love, I don't know. Or maybe you're talking about on Discord. I can take a quick look at that. Yes, I do see you on Discord. I think you are Hassan, is that right? Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so let's take a look at these remaining bases. I will try to go over my plans quickly. I drew them all out. Let's see here. I drew them all out. Let me go to my photos. And so really what I mentioned earlier was that I pretty much was prioritizing a safe 2-star approach into these bases, but now I do have to think about potentially taking some like opposite town hall approaches for 3 stars, because we are in a situation where I do need to triple at least 4 out of my remaining attacks. The goal is 6, obviously, but I don't want to do any 1 stars because that will put me in a very precarious situation. Let's see here. We can start by looking at this one here. Let me take a look, because actually I got a message from one of my clanmates regarding this base. And he actually gave me a plan with the blower backpack, which I found quite interesting. For number 7. This is number 9. Here's number 7. I'm not sure I like his plan, actually. The biggest reason why I don't like the blower so much is because you really get a lot of value from the Queen and the Duke working together. And when you use the blower, you're really supposed to look for blower value on the opposite side. And so, for example, on a base like this, let's just say I send the blower over onto this fire spitter to pick up the CC and all, then the Queen, where am I going to shoot her from? I'm probably going to shoot her from 3 o'clock. Then the Queen and the Duke are not working together. So in this case, what I have planned instead is I'm going to use the Giant Arrow Backpack to eliminate the CC and the scatter shot, although I will probably get the Ricochet as collateral, and then have the Queen and the Duke work together along this side over here to head towards 3 o'clock. So hey, what's going on? It's good to see you. You know, I got the 2T leadership. That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. Light Arc, hey, what's going on? 43 to 38 is pretty insane. Did we do that? I don't remember. The one with the Rage comp is a perfect double OG base, is it? And Rusu, you did not miss the attacks. Are you talking about this one? You think this is perfect for double overgrowth? There might be a couple of other double raised shower bases that you're like, maybe this one, I don't know. Not so sure. Yeah, go opposite. Town Hall should be free. I don't know, man. I don't personally want to take any 1-star risks. That's the thing. We've already gotten a 1-star in this war. So if I fail, I can afford a couple fails. I think that if we end up tying the war on stars like 40-40, that we will end up with a lead on percentage, because some of their fails had pretty low percent. That's just my opinion. So my plan on this base, number 9 here, is to eliminate the Fire Spitter and the Multi-Archer. I know I'm all over the place, guys. I was just looking at number 7, but now we're looking at number 9. I do think this is the easiest one. I'm going to drop the Prince in such a way where he's positioned to engage the enemy logger, but then I'm also going to drop the Skywagon, that's what this is, the SW, into the Monolith together with a Skeleton spell. And I'm going to use some Quakes to eliminate the Fire Spitter, the Multi-Archer, and potentially the Scatter Shot, although that does require another Quake. That's what I'm thinking. And the Overgrowth will probably be placed in such a way that covers either the Revenge Tower or some of these defenses over here to assist the Queen and the Duke. Putting Overgrowth on the Revenge Tower is always risky because sometimes they can wake back up stronger, although I don't think it makes too big of a difference in this case, because by the time I get to the Revenge Tower with this approach, it will still be full power. That's my idea for number 9. After this crafted defense, we will get Town Hall 19. Yeah, it's similar to like Town Hall 17, where we had that one phase, right, with the Crusher Mortar, and then right as soon as that was over, we ended up with Town Hall 18. I think you're correct on that, actually. I guess one thing I want to figure out is whether or not I'm going to get that Inferno. If I can get the Inferno, that'd be great, because that does require some freezes. If I do not get that, it does look like I will be narrowly missing the Inferno. Unless maybe I might get it. That would be nice value. I would definitely want to use an extra Earthquake to get that. Like this. The freezes I want to use primarily to pick up the logger and to stop these early rage multi-infernos. And this other multi-inferno obviously will go down with the setup, and so the rest of this should be pretty easy to handle with totems. I guess I also want to bring a skeleton, right? So let's get rid of one of those freezes, like so. And yeah, I mean, 4 totems and 1 freeze, it's not a ton of support, but I do think as long as I nail the setup, it should be a pretty easy follow-up. That's my opinion. I pulled up a ruler, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You should strategize the World War III tactics? Yeah, sure, bro. Sure. That's the last thing we need. If it were me in charge of strategizing World War III, I would put an end to it pretty quickly. Maybe not, but I'd like to think that I wouldn't. Anyway, I guess I don't really have to think too much about this. It does look like a pretty solid plan, so let's just go right for it. You got that base? I wish I read that right before I pressed attack. Unfortunately, I pressed attack right as soon as I read that. And I do get all of my primary targets there, which is nice. I'm just going to use the orb immediately, obviously because of the raised up damage. Let's use the overgrowth now just to assist the Duke properly. So as long as this Fire Spitter doesn't take down my Warden, I do think I'm in a pretty comfortable position here. And thankfully it doesn't. I guess we just need to see if this Revenge Tower is powerful enough to stop my onslaughts. Although it does look like I have it pretty crushed. That is 1 down, and there are 5 to go. Juggler, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. And Jace, good to see you too, bro. Nice, thank you so much. Clasher, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Or I should say welcome back, right? I think you were here just a few streams ago, right? Do you main one army? Typically, yes, but I do think today I will be using some throwers. I don't think that I'll be using Hydra all stream like I have been lately. Can you share your army? Yes, this army link is in the video description, although you're watching from Twitch. So you do have to switch over to YouTube. I don't have any shortcuts, like chat shortcuts or whatever. Is Hydra the best in this meta? Well, one thing I can tell you is that if we look over here in the previous season results, which we should talk about, right? Because the season has just ended, you will see that a lot of the top players are still mostly using some type of air spam. Like CN here with the Dragon Riders, Santiago here I think with throwers, although I don't know if that's what he was actually using in Legends. Yatta was using Super Bowlers, as we all know, and Stars with the Dragon Riders. And then Sia here with, I think he was also using some kind of air spam, right? Yeah, Hydra. So something with Dragon Riders should definitely be good for this meta still. Here's another player using Hydra. Achilles, I think he is also using Hydra, right? No, he's using throwers. What else? Yeah, there's just a lot of air spam, especially from Votina as well. Dhoom, do a Lalo in Legends 1? Nah. Should set up a Nightbot on Twitch. Yeah, I should, right? I haven't gotten around to that. Although, I should have by now, because I've been streaming almost a year, and I've never done any such thing. Am I outdated then for using Super Yetis and Electro Titans? Super Yetis I think are a little underrated, but I wouldn't use them personally. I don't know if outdated is the right word, because all it really takes is just one more good support equipment for them to be right back in this meta. That's really all it takes. What did I have planned for number 3? Let's take a quick look. You have a gem box? I will open that in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot my queen. I think that I was aiming through the workshop because of the positioning of the Duke. I don't want to drop the Duke immediately from the very top corner. I kind of want to drop him a little over to the right of that, so that he gets an angle where he can eliminate the Fire Spitter, the multi-gear, the air defense, these couple of air defenses. I can bring a 4th Quake to pick up the K-Capult, although I'm not sure. I do think that using all 3 Quakes, especially to eliminate the Super Wizard Tower, is also good value. Let's take a look at the level of this K-Capult. I really don't think that this thing does crazy damage, even when it's at max level. I definitely think that it could use a buff. Especially that initial hit, because the explosion damage is decent. It could be a little more, but It's decent at 950 when it's max level, but the initial hit is really almost nothing. That's how I feel about it. Are you guys full? You were, yeah, we might be full. But full is superficial because there's always people coming in and out. Yeah, at the very moment we're full. But there could be space in a matter of like 5 minutes, you know? So my overgrowth I'm planning to use back here to cover the raid shower once it's activated. Although I could also position it in such a way where it covers, like, for example, the Revenge Tower, the Multi-Inferno, and this air defense once the Duke is headed this way. Hopefully the Duke does head that way. I'm probably going to use Poison to control the couple of enemy heroes here and the CC. And then control Longshot with totems, because not only will the totems distract Longshot, but they'll also distract the capable. Ideally, it might not end up playing out that way, but ideally that's how it would play out. ZL, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. I'll join when there's space. That's cool. That's totally cool. I do think I have a pretty simple plan. I hope it works out. I should probably use my third quick on the K-Catapults because I don't actually think I'm going to get an angle where I hit the Super Wizard Tower. Maybe I will actually. Hitting the Super Wizard Tower is not so bad, although I'm not sure if I can line up the Giant Arrow to hit the Super Wizard Tower and the K-Catapults from the workshop. I think I can only get one or the other. So if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the K-Catapult, probably, and then just eliminate the Super Wizard Tower with Rocket Loons. That's my thinking. Although it's obviously best to save Rocket Loons as well for the Monolith. Maybe I should bring a Skeleton Spell in this case. I think that is a pretty good idea. But what to replace? I guess I'll replace a Totem. I don't usually like to replace totems, but in this case it makes sense. In this case it makes sense to do that. Yash, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, bro. I'm probably going to use a early wizard. I've been bringing a wizard lately, and it actually does pretty decent work. The wizard has a lot of DPS. So he can clear army camps and stuff pretty quickly. Let's just go for this, right? I'm going to use my first two quicks early, but then save the third one to see where I can make the most of it. Yeah, definitely going to use it on the K-Catapult there. I'm going to use my orb now to distract the Longshot to help manage that. Now, whenever this Raid Shower activates, I will put Overgrowth right here. I did get a split. It's not the best split, but at least I think I have most of the damage pretty well situated on this layout. I still have a freeze and a revive. Kind of looks all over the place, doesn't it? I'll use the freeze over the Revenge Shower, just like so. And now hopefully this is a swag revive. And I think it is. And that is 2 down. How did they go from lava launcher to cake? It's so bad in comparison. Yeah, you're right. The lava launcher was an absolute menace. I agree with you there. Even after its nerf, it was still doing pretty decent damage. Light Arc, I think you can't show the chat from any other platform on Twitch. I'd recommend checking in just in case. I think it's when you're monetized on Twitch. You're absolutely right. Crush, you make it look so easy with the overgrowth. Yeah, the overgrowth was good on this base. So do you use Rocket Backpack and Giant Arrow to split the base into two? Let your Hydra attack one half and the Queen and the Duke the other? Yes, ideally that is the plan. Although in this case I had a bunch of Hydra troops leak over to where the Duke was. And that's a big reason why I'm considering throwers. Is because even if some throwers end up on the side where the Duke is, then you may not lose the Royal Rampage so easily, because the Duke does get a lot of extra value with the Royal Rampage. That's the biggest reason why I think throwers have a good shot. This early freeze was nice as well, because you always want to cover the Rage Shower with the freeze before the Rage Shower activates. And so that covers off some of the damage from the Fire Spitter a little bit. Even if the freeze doesn't directly cover the Fire Spitter, it at least prevents the Rage Shower from boosting it. Yeah, there were no defenses over here for the Dragon Riders to follow. And so that's why a bunch of Dragon Riders ended up going this way. And obviously the Skywagon too. If it went exactly like I'd gone in my head, then all of the air troops would have went towards the Town Hall. That's how that would have gone. Doom, show some mercy. You think I should? I definitely want to win. I don't know about showing mercy. With rocket balloons to support the Duke, yes, rocket balloons do a good job of supporting the Duke, especially in around the monolith. Rocket loons are always a good option. Previously I was using 6 rocket loons. Like, this is what I was using before, was 7 dragons, 6 dragon riders, and 6 rocket loons, but I ended up getting rid of a dragon and adding a couple of extra rocket loons because they do pretty decent work. The range is what matters. Mostly the new crafted defenses have very less range. Yeah, you're right, actually. I think that they need both a DPS buff and a rage buff. They need both. Let me bust out the ruler here, because I want to see exactly what kind of a value I'm getting. If I don't have good minion prince equipment, is it still worth using Hydra? Yeah, I think so. You can also consider trying to use throwers. I'm going to be using throwers later in the stream, and you can see if that suits you and your equipment levels a bit better. Yeah, essentially what I'm trying to do is to see if I can hit both the scatter shot and the multi-inferno, or if I should focus on trying to hit maybe both of these multi-infernos, like this. I probably need to drop the Duke in such a way where he Well, the cool thing about this is I only need 2 quakes, because typically I bring 3, but the targets I'm going for, at least to set the funnel, only require 2 quakes. So, but I do definitely need some rocket loons. I definitely need some early rocket loons to snipe the mortar. Okay. Let's get rid of this extra quake, and let's figure out what kind of a spell I can use. I gotta be honest with you, I do think that we will some point very soon get another decent prince equipment. Like, because right now the only epics that we have are the Dark Crown and the Meteor Staff. So I don't suggest that you spend a ton of ores on those, because I'm predicting that in October we'll see another prince epic, which might end up being better than both of those. That's just a prediction. It's not, I don't have any inside info or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, so I definitely need that poison, right? But I feel like I can also get good value from a skeleton, maybe? Around the revenge tower. And then I probably need to use rocket loons to secure the monolith and totems. Rocket loons and totems. That's just my thinking. And then an overgrowth over here. I guess another thing I can do is potentially wait for the candle to melt a bit. That's one thing I've been doing a little recently in my Legends 1 hits, is that anytime I see a candle with a decent level on it, I'll destroy one building and then I'll wait like 30-40 seconds for the candle to melt. Does anybody know, I should have had this figured out already, but does anybody know if whether you drop overgrowth on the candle, whether the candle continues to decay? I'm not so sure. How many epics they want for per hero? We have 4 for the Barb King. Yeah, we have 4 for the King right now. And 2 for the Prince, 2 for the Duke. Well, actually only 1 right now, but the second Duke epic equipment is coming very soon. The Queen has 3, the RC has 3, and the Warden has 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Prince gets a third epic soon. Especially because he's unlocked so early, right? Like, I'm surprised that we didn't see, you know, a third epic for the Prince before we saw a 4th for the King. Yes, after it wakes from overgrowth, it will be decayed. That's cool. I appreciate the info there. Bugs Bunny here, what's going on? Good to see you. Okay. I think we're ready to go for this. I only need 2 quakes for the setup and the funnel I'm looking for. To be honest with you, it's not the greatest value, but as long as the Duke ends up going over towards the monolith, I should be able to assist him properly. I'm probably going to end up using freezes to control the logger together with the multi-inferno. That's really the idea behind the freezes, at least. I can also use a second freeze on the monolith together with the CC. Anyway, I like this approach because it goes early into the poison spell tower, and I do have the healing tome which can counteract that pretty nicely. So, alrighty. I say let's just go right for this. Let's get rid of 1 building quickly, and then I'm gonna wait. I don't want to wait a crazy long time. Maybe like 30 seconds is good. I think 30 seconds is good. I can also use a couple rocket loons. Couple more maybe. And now let's go. And I do get all of my primary targets there, which is nice. And you can already see how I have a bit of a pathing established for the Duke to go towards into the monolith. But now I'm down to my last 2 rocket loons, so I definitely got to be careful. The monolith goes down, which is nice. Let's put this overgrowth over the candle now. I definitely need to be a bit careful here with the remaining spells and troops. There's not much. Use freeze. And then I think now is a fine time to revive the Duke. If I end up failing this, it is what it is. I still have the percent we need. I believe. Yeah, not the strongest, right? This could have gone better in a lot of ways. 91%. A good attempt, but really all I was going was for the safest. Obviously the safest to secure the town hall and all. We can watch that back. Would you get good rank in global? Yes, actually. If we win this war, we don't need to focus on stars or anything. We just need to focus on winning the war. Then we're going to end up global rank 9, which is pretty cool. Wait, I should incorporate your strat into my attacks too with the yeah. So the queen and the duke do a great job together with the setup. Let's see here. I think that this monolith was really the crux of this attack. That monolith should have gone down. At least the duke should have been able to survive that. I used the totem, but it was kind of late. And yeah, my duke is dead at this point, which is not ideal. By this point, he should definitely still be alive. And then the queen as well. Maybe it wasn't the best plan. Maybe not. But at least I felt comfortable for getting 2 stars. I hate poison towers. Yeah, I don't like them either, but the healing tome does a good job of counteracting them. And Zero, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, bro. Monolith and CC should be good value for blower. Oh, you think so? On this base? I probably should have used a blower, huh? I have a feeling you're right. Let's see, 3 from the bomb tower, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, the blower definitely would have reached the CC. I have a feeling you're right. Because I did an attack like that earlier in the week, where I used the blower to snipe the CC and the revenge tower, and then just followed it up with a ton of extra support spells. I do think you're right about that. Anyway, we can move on to the next hit. Hopefully I triple the next 3. And so my plan for this base here is I'm going to shoot the giant arrow from this gold mine to hit the revenge tower and the CC. Although I do obviously have to be careful about the builders in the range here. Maybe one thing I can do which would help is if I shoot the giant arrow first. That way it puts damage on the town hall to distract the builders a bit. If I do everything fast enough, then I can get the revenge tower down without an issue, but the truth is that with 2 builders, I don't know if that's the risk I want to take. I do think that adjusting the timing is pretty reasonable here. You could argue getting rid of the poison spell is a good idea for this base, but I don't know. I kind of want to have the poison at least to control the Logger Guardian. Maybe an extra freeze would be good, especially because of these double raise showers. Maybe. Yeah, I think bringing in an extra freeze would be good, because really I'm not going to worry about the CC, right? Because no builders are covering that. I don't think that the builders are an issue for the CC, obviously. So let's just bring an extra freeze here. And I think we can go right for this, right? UM50 OP duo, ground expertise, and then air. I was using ground at one point, so we were both kind of... This is really, I gotta say, the first meta that we've had in a long time where we were both using contrasting strategies like that. He hates dragons, so that's why He's using throwers. He hates dragons. Okay, let's go for this. Hanson, hey, what's going on? You're late, a little late. Not crazy late, but just a little. I think we can probably use an early totem, right? To support the queen properly. Like so. And I do get all of my targets there, which is nice. And now here's where these extra freezers are really going to come in handy. I did unfortunately lose my Duke a little early, which is not ideal. Definitely should have tried to keep him alive just a little longer. Now, I would like to see if something can go and pick up the Rage Shower, at least activate it. Not looking good. It's looking okay, but not amazing. I do think this ends up failing. Yeah, very close. Another very close attempt. Very close, 95%. Bilal, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. On number 6, shouldn't you shoot the arrow from 12 o'clock multi-inferno by making some funnel? Let's take a look. Oh, well, it's too late. It's too late. Too late. Great opener. I know, I got the setup right, but the follow-up was not very easy. I think that really, if I had been able to assist the Duke properly, it would have been easier. The Duke going down to the monolith was not good. Because at least the Duke would have been able to activate the Rage Shower, right? And then I would have gotten obviously a much better overgrowth than this. Dragon's AI Soldier, you think so? I think I made some mistakes. Probably could have overgrowth the multi-archer and spitter shooting the Duke. It was really a lot of damage to cover, especially because the Rage Shower never got off. I'm not really sure if there was ever really a correct way to put the overgrowth, unless maybe I had saved some rocket loons to trigger the Rage Shower. That could have worked. I used rocket loons initially to cut the funnel over here by eliminating the air defense and the super wizard tower. That way the prince didn't go over to the town hall. But the prince also kind of got wasted by this air defense. I was thinking maybe I could have also recovered it with the orb, but yeah. If you triple out, will this be a percentage win? Yes, it will, because our percent is still pretty decent, but obviously I do have to triple the last couple hits, so now it is balls to the walls. I can't really think about safe 2 stars. I have to think about the best way to triple. I do think that I could potentially take some, because what I was planning on this base initially was to start over on this side with the Hydra to get early into the Town Hall. But now with the Sweeper, I'm not so sure about that. I do think starting the Hydra over here behind the Monolith makes sense. That way I go behind the Sweeper. And then I can get a good setup by eliminating the CC and the Scattershot over here. And then extend the funnel by using an Overgrowth back here. I do think that is the best plan for this base. That's what I'm thinking. Duke got to mono faster than expected. Yeah, I don't think I was looking at the Duke when he got to the Monolith. I think I was looking elsewhere. Okay, let's switch accounts. I guess the question is whether I really want this poison spell or not. I guess I should bring it in case the CC doesn't go down. There's a lot of builders in the area. I can use one Quake that covers some of these couple of builders and then the other 2 Quakes over here. But I might end up missing the Ricochet, which is not ideal. That's what I'm thinking. What about my plan, which I sent in Discord? Let's take a look. Are you talking about this plan that you had with the blower? I didn't like it. I don't like that plan with the blower, honestly. And with this approach, it can make sense, actually. It could potentially make sense. But I would probably have to bring the Phoenix on him, right? Fireball the cake. That's a good idea. But I haven't had any practice with the fireball lately. I'm not sure I want to take the risk in CWL, especially for a win. I kind of want to use something I'm super comfortable with, right? You know, maybe that sounds complacent. Maybe it is. But that's the last thing we need is like a 74% one-shot. Because I decided to bring Fireball and then lose the Warden. Okay. I do think I have the safest approach. I guess the only thing is potentially that I should think about the blower to eliminate the Revenge Shower. It does make sense in this case. With a Quake. I wouldn't even need a Quake, actually. I would just need the blower, the backpack, and the giant arrow. I would have to run something like this. Skelly for Revenge Expo is good. I think I'm gonna actually just take it down with the blower. And then use the 3 Quakes over to hit the CC and the Scatter Shot. Although I do need to time everything properly. Is that enough? The blower together with the giant arrow and the backpack. Let me take a look. There's a website I like to use. Let's see. I don't think I need any Quakes, actually. I would be able to get everything except Huh. Yeah, I do need a quake still. That's unfortunate. You still need one quake. Okay. So in that case, I think I'm just gonna ignore the revenge shower and just control it with like a totem or a skeleton. That's what I'm thinking. Looks far. It's not exactly far. The way I would hit the blower is probably by like using the angry jelly on the wizard tower, and then maybe into the air defense, and then the blower would definitely hit the revenge shell. But regardless, I need a quake to pull that off. So whether that's worth it or not, I'm not too sure about that. I'd rather just assist the Duke properly. Okay, I do think I'm gonna go for this. Test it out in friendly challenge and check my plan again. I wrote everything. Yeah, I don't know if I want to use the blower. The biggest problem with the blower also is that even if the Duke ends up with the queen, you still lose a ton of revive value because he doesn't have the fire heart. Use skeleton for the mono. I can, but there's also, I'm probably gonna need a totem anyway to distract the air defense and the expo. So I think that with the Skywagon troops, that should be enough to distract the monolith. I don't think it's actually a huge deal. Let's just go for this. The longer I sit here and look at this, the more I'm gonna overthink it. So. Do get all of my targets there, which is nice. And now the Queen and the Duke are off on their own path together quite nicely. Let's use poison over here. And now overgrowth. And then give the queen some rocket launch. I think this is working out. And you can see how this is going already better than the previous hit that I failed. Because the queen and the Duke are still alive. This should be 3 source. Hopefully. Now I'm going to wait for some air troops to get over into the range of the air defense so that they can at least try to keep the Duke alive. Nice and easy, right? OMG new print skin, I should check that out. I should definitely check that out. Because I do like this skin set quite a lot. This is pretty cool. Very nice. And obviously nice that I got 3 stars there, right? Because we're on track to win this still. Holy go, I need to get better at supporting the queen with this composition. Yeah, the queen and the Duke together working like that do a great job. The only thing which can really properly stop them is the monolith. That's what I think about that. Okay, so my plan here is to, together with the giant arrow in the backpack, to eliminate the CC and the multi-gear tower. I'm definitely going to bring an extra quake in this case, right? I think that would be essential. Not an extra quake. I mean, get rid of my poison and bring like an extra totem. And the nice thing about the setup is it does pick up both spell towers, including this rage spell tower. And the K-Catapult is obviously low level. My approach will go early into this revenge tower. I do feel pretty confident this will triple. And then I'll use an overgrowth over the monolith, the fire spitter, and this multi-infernal. I guess the only thing is that maybe I should save a dragon or a baby dragon to pick up the town hall just in case nothing goes over after it. I think there's a potential of that. That's what I'm thinking. It does seem like a pretty simple plan, relatively straightforward. That's what I'm thinking. Nice hit, always go with your gut feeling. Yeah, I'll try my best because my gut feelings already failed me twice so far today. What about taking down the Revenge Tower and the CC? Nah. The arrow gets a perfect shot from the Elixir Collector. I thought about doing it this way, where I shoot the Duke from 12 o'clock, but the problem is that there's going to be both spell towers. I thought about that. I think that eliminating both spell towers early is going to make the rest of the base pretty easy to manage with the spells. I guess the only thing is that maybe I should get rid of this archer tower a little early. I can use a baby dragon for that. Or a couple rocket loons. I don't know if I want to use rocket loons. I think a baby dragon is good. So that does mean I need to save at least one dragon. One dragon. I can't drop all 6 dragons at once. So... alrighty. I think we should just go for this. Let's do it. And I do get all of my primary targets there, which is nice. Maybe the queen will pick up the town hall, which is cool. Wouldn't mind that. It's definitely going to pick up the logger. And one dragon does leak over and eventually go to have pathing into the town hall, which is nice. So now that means I can drop my last dragon just wherever. I still have a ton of rocket loons as well. I'm going to save the rocket loons obviously for the monolith. And then swag a revive. Beautiful. And with that, that is a win, and that is also global rank 9 for us. Pretty cool. I'll be live until we can see the CWL leaderboards, which should hopefully show our rank. This is why you're the GOAT, thank you so much. But I gotta be honest, I'm not overall not really satisfied with my performance of this week. I do think that I could have done a lot better in some ways, especially with the fact that I'm not really using any more than just this army. I should definitely be well versed with more than one army, right? But thanks for all the nice comments. I appreciate that, guys. It's nice to have a win here. 98% over 96.2. And hopefully in 25 minutes we will see the CWL leaderboards. Maybe it might take a little longer than that. for them to, maybe they're gonna like manually update it or something. I'm not so sure. Celebratory dance where? Good question, bro. To be honest with you, I would celebrate if I did a perfect week. But let's see what I did. I did 2 fails today, and before today I had 31. So my overall hit rate was 35 out of 42, which is 83%. It's above the field average, especially in when you look at like the rounds. You can see that most clans were scoring right around 40 stars. It was somewhere between 39 and 42 that most clans were scoring. There's a few outliers, I guess. Display of Power did 45 on day 6, which was pretty cool. But we also saw 36 from Silent Army in day 6, which I think was the lowest from any clan all week. So the overall hit rate, if I had to guess, from all clans was probably somewhere around 70%, if I had to guess. I'm not so sure. Will there be placement on the basis of position or just stars and destruction? Well, I think it's going to be based off, like how, because when it was Champ 1, it used to be like first in the group. So even if somehow you were second place with more stars than some first place finishers, you would still be ranked lower, right? So this is a base which I can describe how the setup is supposed to look for this army, because I'm definitely going to be trying to split it as much as I can. I'm going to be aiming for the Revenge Tower and the Catapult. Let's use a... Oh, nice Tesla. That Tesla actually helps me quite a bit. And then send my Hydra into the Monolith. Anytime you have a 50-50 of whether to go into the Monolith or into the Multi-Gear Tower, you should definitely send your army into the Monolith. Because it's pretty easy to manage. You can already see that the Monolith is just gone. Let's use Overgrowth like now. No reaction. Yeah, kind of. It's a little anticlimactic, I gotta be honest. Because I typically hold myself to that kind of a standard, you know? I obviously want something better for myself always. I hope I didn't screw this up. I might have. But I don't think I did. I would have been celebrating if we ended up first place. Right? Would have been nice to be first. Why are you making plans for Doom when you can't go perfect in Titan 2? Good question. From next CWL, there will be Legends 3 for Titan. You think it'll be next CWL? I'm not so sure, actually. Here's a swag revive, by the way. I think it's going to actually be the same. I think it's going to be the same. Doom, please demote Noctis. Should I? I might be considering that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do think that we will still be seeing 4 clans promoting for at least a couple more months, because even after this month, there's really still not going to be that many clans in Legend League. And the problem is that a lot of clans are getting to Legend League and then skipping. That's a big issue. So this is another one of those bases where you can see like a along the axis of symmetry that the monolith is on one side and the multi-gear is on the other. And so this is definitely one of those cases where I would think about sending my army into the monolith. Let's take a look at these builders. That is a good position for those builders, I'll be honest. I have to be super quick with the giant arrow after I shoot the backpack and the quakes. Just like that. I did miss the CC, unfortunately. I'm gonna freeze there because I want to keep the Frosty alive. If possible. But Frosty might go down. I missed the CC with the setup, but it's not a huge deal, I guess. It's just a couple witches. Those skeletons are definitely going to be an issue. Yeah, the skeletons pulled my prince away. So I do think that this could potentially end up as a 1-star. If I'm not able to eliminate all of these heroes and stuff. Yeah, looking like a 1-star. Very unfortunate. But not much more I can do from this point. Those witches definitely really got me good. Yeah, Noctis likes to troll people. I don't think you should take it too seriously. Okay, let's continue the hits. AJ, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you. GM just been lurking in the stream, that's cool. How do you feel with the nice 9th place finish? It's good, it's definitely the best the clan's ever done. Because our previous best CWL finish was rank 11. And that was actually over a year ago. So, I'm definitely proud of my mates. But I still have that little itching feeling of like, you know, what could have been. You know what I mean? So, I'm definitely hungry for more. But at the same time, I don't think we'll be going for Legend League in the upcoming season. Okay, I think I need to be careful on this particular layout because I don't think I'm going to be hitting the CC. Maybe I will, but maybe I should. I was thinking about hitting the K-Catapult. But yeah, see, I missed the CC. That's exactly what I was worried about. So now, hopefully, the Duke can go over to where the multi-gear tower is. But I'm going to have to save my poison spell for the CC troops. Uh-oh. This might end up being another 1-star. Because the Duke ended up going over to the... Yeah, I should have definitely gone for the K-Catapult. We'll see if I can support my army enough to make it through the... around the base. Or maybe what I should do is potentially put Overgrowth here. Yeah, this is a good way to recover that, I think. Although I'm only really recovering it to, like, a decent 2-star. Rather than a triple. You're running this base, that's awesome. The arrow hit the CC, but the backpack missed it. If I hit the backpack, then maybe I could have had some better chances, but obviously not in this particular instance. Yeah, it's basically a swag revive. I'm glad I recovered the second star there. I wish I could have done the same on the previous hits. Octus is cool, people. He is pretty cool. So maybe don't hit this base like that. Yeah, if you miss the CC, it's obviously consequential, right? This K-Catapult has a decent level on it. Actually, the HP is low. So I could probably exploit that to an extent. I think what I'm going to do is to snipe the Monolith with the rocket launch and then just destroy the K-Catapult and the multi-inferno with the setup. And the Hydra can go into the side that has the poison tower. Just like so. Oh, I did eliminate the poison tower, which is nice. That means I can use my healing tome a little early, because normally on this layout I'm supposed to hold the healing tome for the poison tower. Let's use poison over here. I do think I'm probably going to run the overgrowth now to keep the hopefully this has done enough. I'm surprised that the rage shower went off. Because, or I should say the invis tower, because I thought I destroyed it just before it went off. And then just revive the Duke, right? I do think that the Duke wins the fight here. Hopefully. The last threat is the Logger Guardian. Easy triple here. Okay. Let's, I said I was gonna do half my hits with this army and then the other half with the throwers. Let's switch over. I want to show you guys, Faizy's YouTube here. Because he is using a thrower strategy which is performing quite well. So here is the army link. Okay, let me take a quick look at this. I've seen enough of his attacks to know essentially how it's supposed to go. But the thing that's going to throw me off is the order in which these things are placed here. I like to put everything in the original order before we had this new interface, because it used to sort things based on when we had, based on like the level of the barracks or whatever. So I think that this is how I like it, right? Kumar, hey, what's going on? Bro, I have to gems to buy equipment, but I will get them if Hero Hall get fixed. You should definitely wait for the Hero Hall to get fixed, the Hero Journey. You should definitely wait for that, because gems are quite valuable. And I do think that they will fix it in a matter of time. A better place to spend your gems would be like the extra layout slots for war bases. I would suggest you spend your gems there. Okay, I think I have everything in an optimal order for myself. And yeah, let's give this a quick shot. And the cool thing is that I can go for a setup that I'm used to, right? I guess what I can try to do is get the monolith and the multi-infernal. Should be pretty easy, right? Like so. And then the throwers, I probably should have started with the throwers, right? I guess that's a muscle memory thing. So I'm so used to immediately starting with the setup. This is my first time using this army, by the way. You guys are witnessing that live. Although, to be honest, I have used backpack into throwers before, but the way I used it previously is a little different. I used it with 4 quakes together with the giant, or with the recall spell. That overgrowth is not ideal. The nice thing is that I have a direct pathing into the multi-inferno. Or maybe not. Maybe this is a time fail. Yeah, if I had dropped the throwers first, maybe I would have a chance. 96%, decent first attempt. Right. You can remove 1 giant and 1 super barb and add an ice golem. Nah. I think that the giants do a good job because of spring traps. Right? If you add an extra ice golem and it just gets immediately sprung, then it's a waste. I actually like having these giants here. And so does Fizzy here. Dhoom, your thoughts on this season's scenery? I actually like it a lot. I like this whole set quite a lot. I'm going to be getting the whole set at some point on one of my accounts. Probably not this one because of the trees, but at least one of my accounts. I don't know if I like the jelly stick course version with the king or this version. I think they both are equally as viable. The king obviously has the flexibility of ignoring the walls, right? It's a good question though. Like, which one can be better? Okay, so this time I'll remember to drop the throwers early, right? But I don't want to drop my healers in the range of the air defense. So a setup like this makes sense. Hopefully I didn't screw this up. So far, it's looking decent. I probably could have done something better with the... with the log launcher, I feel. Let's see what happened to the music. It got shut off somehow. Yeah, check out the swag. A swag overgrowth, swag revive, swag freeze. Maybe it was an easy base for this particular strategy, but obviously good start. Used druid pretty early. I probably did. But I also swagged a lot. Against Mark too. I don't know if you guys know who EV Mark is, but this guy is a very good player. Legacy all-time best of 12th place. He is playing with Itsu in this clan for Titan 1. I think they're trying to get this clan into Legend League, because Mark did help Itsu get his clan into Legend League. Okay, this base. Definitely need to be a little careful on this layout. I do think I can screw this up potentially. I did unfortunately get an incorrect split. It was obviously meant for the queen to go together with the duke, but the duke is going off alone to pick up long shot, which is not bad. Let's use the troop launcher in this case. I do think it makes sense now, because the duke's gonna go and pick up long shot, right? Hopefully. I'm a little worried about how this has panned out. Let's just use overgrowth like this and see what happens with the throwers. It looks like they are going into the monolith, hopefully, right? This looks pretty crushed, except for the fact that my healers are gonna probably get marked in a second. I guess I'll wait for the Rage Tower to fade and then just revive the Duke, just like so. And then hopefully he has the time to finish the base. I think he does. It's close, but he does get it. Nice hits, Dhoom. Thank you so much. Ex-Tribe Pro, yes, he used to be with Tribe. 502 League medals. Okay, now that's something I can celebrate. I love getting 500 League medals. That's pretty cool. We are in 3rd place, which is awesome, obviously, because we're going to end up ahead of Silent Army, which I did not expect that. I did not expect that Silent Army would go from competing for 1st all the way down to 5th. And then Therapy, it's good that we managed to stay ahead of them. They did also pick up the second half of the week just like we did. Wow, 502, yeah, I didn't expect 502 actually. I thought it was going to be like 80 or something. Which is not far off anyway, but... I might try throwers and friendly challenges. Yeah, definitely give them a shot. I would definitely suggest them. And I do think that throwers are a good thing to consider, especially against a candle on bases like this, because of the fact that they do move a little more slowly. I can get some really good value with the giant arrow backpack. So I do want to line that up properly. Let's take a look where the builders are. Okay. Do get all of my targets there, which is nice. Switch back to the log launcher. And then drop the king. And now I'm going to use my log launcher over here. I do hope that the queen will go and pick up the opposing fire spitter. Would be nice if she did. And she does. Probably gonna lose my queen, but it's fine. Let's just use overgrowth like so. And this also sets up a nice revive for me. I still have 4 totem spells, which is just insane. Let's revive the Duke over here. And yeah, obviously an easy triple, right? And so what do you guys think? I definitely like what I'm seeing so far. I'm crushing bases right away with an army that I didn't even put this into practice. You guys literally saw me save this army. And I did better with this than I did with the Hydra. Anonymous, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you, bro. That's the leaderboards updated, is it? Yes, beautiful. We are global rank 9, which is just beautiful. And Cup Up AB obviously did a good job to secure first place, although I gotta say they were a little lucky because Display of Power did have a chance to catch them. Display of Power only ended up finishing a couple stars behind them in the end. And then there is us, global rank 9. I guess that's pretty cool, right? I think it's too easy for you. Yeah, if you give me some time and some practice with this, I could probably get some good results with this. Faizi did do a great job last season. Throwers or super bowlers? I'm leaning towards throwers. Congrats on the top 10 finish. I appreciate that, guys. It's nice to have the nice comments. Really appreciate it. I'm always hungry for more, though. That's how I feel, is that I have this feeling that I want to go for global rank, like top 5 at least. You know? But obviously a job well done by my clanmates. Let's go over here and distribute the bonuses. I was never good with throwers, neither was I until the life gem got buffed. Once the Rage Gem, Life Gem throwers became popular and then the backpack was introduced, then I did notice that throwers were looking pretty amazing. You know what I should take a look at first is how many league medals I have now on all of my accounts. I want to try to get an even amount and figure out where my bonuses can go. $13.39, I guess, is the lowest that I have. Yeah, so I guess Havoc can get a bonus. Looks like I gotta hit the labs. Yeah, definitely give throwers a shot. Faizy was making them look pretty amazing in CWL. How many bonuses are left? 2. So 1 for Havoc, and then I guess 1 for, which one was it? It was Fear, right? That was low. Let's get podium finish next month. Yeah, I definitely want to try to do something better, but I don't know if actually it's going to happen next month. And the truth is because I want to push my other clans. I do think that we will be taking it a little easy next month. Only a little. Maybe next month we can aim for a top 5 result in all of the Titan 1 groups. That's what I'm thinking. Using air army and crushing bases with ground is great. Yeah, I know. It's always nice when you find an army that you crush bases with right away. It's always nice. Stick me in M2, yeah, sure. After your 21 stars in Titan 2, you want to go to Master 2? Whatever, bro. Okay, I'll give it to Dhoom. And I think that's good, right? Dhoom and Havoc, and then the rest of my clanmates. Pretty solid. And then all of my accounts are roughly even. Here, I'll share that army to myself as well. I want to continue using that army. 602 medals, yeah, that's crazy, right? Getting 600. Yeah, the only attack I failed with this was the very first one, because I was kind of confused. And it was just a time fail, right? I ended up dropping my throwers late. So hopefully I can go ahead and continue to crush bases. Thoughts on the upcoming new Duke equipment? I'm excited for it. I will say that. I definitely think it has a chance to open up the strategy a little bit. Oh, 1 second. I forgot I rearranged my trooper like this. My defense is getting wrecked. Yeah, that's the story of any good player, is eventually you will end up with some suboptimal defense. And so now this is a case where you can see like the axis of symmetry is like in between the fire spitters, right? Obviously I want to pick up the CC and the multi-inferno, I guess. I can also pick up the Kickapult, but you can see here how there's the revenge tower and the multi-gear tower. And so if I had to choose one, I would obviously pick the revenge tower to go into early. And so with that, I should drop my...
Okay.
Oh. My watch started talking to me. I should drop my throwers over here. Just like so. Now hopefully everything continues over exactly as I anticipated. The tornado looks pretty decently positioned. Let's switch to a log launcher here. I'm probably going to end up having my Duke go to Phoenix, which is not ideal, but... We'll see if the queen is able to pick up any more substantial value before she goes down. Let's use Overgrowth to actually support the queen a bit. The poison tower does eliminate the... Or what am I saying? I should say the log launcher eliminates the poison tower. I was saying that the poison tower eliminates the poison tower, which is obviously not correct. And then I guess we can swag the rest, right? It's actually a pretty easy army for me to use because of the experience I have at setting up the queen and the duke. So giants are just to bait spring traps? Yes. The best value you can get from the giants are the spring traps. They're kind of like Coco Loons, except for ground. These bases seem perfect for this army comp. Yeah, they do, right? I think that diamond bases pretty much died when we got the with the backpack. Yeah, it still seems like a lot of people like to run them. Not sure why. This is definitely an interesting layout. I guess what I should do is start the throwers on this side. On the side with the monolith. We shall see if the queen ends up going exactly where I wanted, but might not be the case. Or I should say the duke. Because I don't think that the duke's going where I want. Yeah, the duke is going to go down a little early. Maybe I can use overgrowth here to try to recover that. The pathing that I missed. I guess I'm not comfortable with the style of a base yet. Very boxy. I was looking initially for some kind of a 12-6 or a 3-9 kind of setup with the giant arrow backpack, but I couldn't find anything. Do I revive the warden? I feel like I should. I have a feeling I should. Maybe that was incorrect. Let's just see if all of my remaining support troops can finish the base. I think they can. Hopefully. Are throwers buffed after the update? Not exactly. I'll tell you what really buffed the throwers was the removal of the lava launcher. The lava launcher was the biggest cancer for throwers. We might have to leave air in the past. Yeah, I do think that this meta is good for throwers. A2C is the first clan in Clash which demoted from Legend League. Yeah, the only one too. Not only the first, but the only. So that is unfortunate for them. I do feel bad because I think they paid for players. Let me take a look. I think we faced them. What day we faced them? It was day 5. They had some players like RGE Mech and ND. I'm not sure if these are players that are native to A2C. Maybe they play for free, I'm not sure. But McAngel is definitely a player that I find on deals quite a lot. Frozen as well. And Name here. I think that they paid for players and then ended up demoting, so very tragic for them. Can I get the army link? Yes, I'll show you exactly where to go. So go to YouTube, and my screen is frozen, hang on. So go to YouTube and then search Faizy Clash of Clans. This is his channel. He has 293 subscribers. He's definitely underrated. And then just go to his latest video, and then the army link is in the description. Is the one in the description, is this the Thrower army? Nah, that's the Hydra army that I've been using the past few seasons. I use that in CWL as well. I'll show you quickly what my results with the Hydra were. In the July season, I got 138th. I got 746 on this account. I got 91st on Chaos. I got 229 on Rage. 239 on Havoc. 192 on Death. But all of these results, 56, came from when we had the lava launcher. And so I think I was abusing bases because of it. But now, I'm not so sure. I don't think that Hydra has the same edge that it once did. It's not bad, but it's not as insanely OP as it once was. Okay. This is a bit of a unorthodox base for me to hit. I'm gonna try to do something like this. I'm gonna drop one quake on the Catapult, and then the other 2 quakes on the Poison Tower. And get the arrow to hit the Catapult. And then the throwers. I probably should have done the throwers first. If I end up time failing, then it's probably because I didn't drop the throwers first. Probably. I definitely should have thought of that. I wonder if there's a way I'm going to be able to pick up this revenge shower. I can tell that's going to turn back on me pretty hard. Let's use the overgrowth now right here, and then revive the Duke into the revenge shower. And then hopefully that can be enough. I guess the only other thing now I'm worried about is obviously the poison tower is going to reset on me. Not the poison tower, you know. The Invis tower. So as long as the healers cooperate properly, then it might not be a huge issue. Town Hall goes down, which is obviously nice. And then another 3 stars. Can really only get the cake here. Yeah, you're right. Jelly on the king would have been sick. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Bowlers are getting bold now, not as OP as before. I definitely think they're just tricky to use. I think that for some players with a certain attacking style that they can make the most out of bowlers, especially players like Yata, who have been using bowlers since Town Hall 15. You're very good with throwers, only downside is time. I haven't really been time failing though. I time failed my first hit with this. Okay, this base. I'm not exactly sure what to go for here. I can try to set up an approach to go behind the fire spitters, which might be good. But to be honest with you, I have no idea what to go for here. And if I fail, I'll feel really not great, because this is such an easy base for with Hydra. Okay, let's just start right here. This is the kind of a setup that I typically go for with Hydra. So that's why I'm starting over here. Should use overgrowth probably. This overgrowth is meant to cover off the monolith to properly support the Duke and the Queen. Yeah, this isn't how I expected this to go. I just hope that the throwers will be able to pick up the monoliths. That way I can get a good revive. That is a must. And now here is my revive, and then I'm just gonna freeze the air defense. And another easy 3 stars. They're just hard to control. Yeah, I agree. The biggest reason why I don't like throwers is the fact that if one thrower ends up falling behind, then it oftentimes stealing the healers. However, with this giant arrow backpack, you can often get the funnel that you need to prevent that from happening. Oh, hey, what's going on? I think I just got a super chat. Can you invite me when there's space? I'll make a space for you, bro. I really appreciate the super chat. Top 9 GE's aura is unhinged. I really appreciate that, bro. Very nice. Very nice. I really appreciate that. Let's check here to see if I have a Tesla. I think a Tesla might be beneficial for me. There is one Tesla there. There's another. That's exactly what I needed. Oh, I should have dropped the throwers first, right? Yeah, definitely an incorrect approach. At least how I manage this bottom area here. Hopefully I don't end up one-starring. I think I'm gonna drop the king over here. I'm going to use the overgrowth to cover the fire spitter and make sure that I get a good pathing into the town hall. Let's use these a couple of wall breakers that I have. And of course I lost my warden. So I might really be cooked. I'm just going to use an invis there to secure the town hall. And what else? What else can I do? There's really not much. I think I just picked something that was not just less than ideal, but straight up incorrect. I guess we'll revive the Duke. Try to get some extra value. Extra percentage. Freeze the air defense, although it doesn't matter. 73%. This is my first real fail. My first real fail with this. I'm not getting the timing of when to deploy the lava launcher. It just has to be in safety. That's really the only thing. People are using 3 revives with this comp in esports. I did see that. I did see that. Which is just trolling your army, yes. I got destroyed by the... I think I really got destroyed by the setup there. Live defense, we can check that out in a second. I really don't care about defense in this early stage of the season. It's pretty easy to overcome. I do see a interesting pathing here. I think I can pull this off pretty easily. And again, this is my bad habit, is that I am not dropping the throwers early. And so here now I can drop my log launcher since I know it's going to be safe. I can probably use the overgrowth to help set up a nice revive. Should definitely look out for that. Let's do that right here. And then revive the Duke, and then that should carry me through the rest of the base pretty easily, I think. I lost my Warden, but it's fine. I send easy. Dhoom, should I prioritize the torch after revenge check? I have 500 starry ores. I'm not sure about the torch. I mean, like, it is working pretty well, and it does seem to have some kind of a longevity. But the truth is, I also don't know if the revenge check is going to be the most amazing thing ever, you know? 500 starry ores is quite a lot. If you got an event pass, then you should be able to max both of them out. And if you want to upgrade the monolith arrow too, it's a good question. It is a good question. I would suggest just waiting. Especially because we don't know if any new crazy strategy is going to pop up with the revenge check. Because it might, right? See, now with this base I typically hit the CC to set up a Hydra entry over here, but I kind of want to try something a little different. Let's set up a giant arrow here. And then 3 quakes, right? I don't think I'm actually going to get exactly what I want, but it's fine. Like, I think this is going to have to work. The queen does end up following the army, which is not the worst thing. It's not ideal. I'm probably just going to let the Duke go to Phoenix. I definitely think I screwed up on the log launcher. This might end up being a 1-star if I really didn't manage this properly. I'll use a revenge tower to distract the revenge, or I'll use a totem to distract the revenge tower. I'm not going to use the revenge tower. Sometimes it's pretty difficult to verbalize myself properly when I'm in the middle of an attack. Yeah, this didn't end up so smooth. At least I'll secure the town hall easily, right? And who knows, maybe this does end up tripling, despite a bit of a shaky start. It looks like it has chances. And now I can just 4x the rest. Very close. 97% is what that ended up going for. Someone got 98/7 yesterday. What is that? 98/7? Oh, on defense? I don't understand. Warden threw, he kinda did. If he had been in a better position, right? I could have had some chances there. I did get a nice defense on Mustafa here over from DSM. 98%. All those DSM guys are really strong. Hassan, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you, bro. I am practicing throwers. This is Zeus Ryuta, who just won the monthly qualifiers, right? Back to back. Do you think I have a chance to set up? Something decent here. Let's check the builders. Looks like I can get the CC together with the mono, or with the Inferno. I don't know if I'm gonna get the Cakapult. Do want to see the Duke go and eventually pick up the Revenge Shower, which would be nice. Let's send the King now. And then the log launcher. Yeah, the Duke's doing an amazing job. I guess the only thing I could have done better is maybe something to help protect my healers a bit. Doesn't seem like there are very many of them left. I'll use the overgrowth there. Let's see if the throwers can go and pick up the air defense at some point. That would really be the last thing. But I'm not so sure. I think this does end up failing potentially. Yeah, very close. Whatever happened to the healers definitely cost me, because I lost my Warden and then my throwers. Ryuta also uses throwers, you're absolutely right about that. I've seen him attack me. This is your favorite song in the playlist, let me look it up. Let me take a quick look. This one is called Chrome Spinners by Gustav. Although I think it's made with AI. Okay, what is that? That's 284 with the throwers. Not amazing, but I think that I will get better with this strategy over time, because obviously this is my first day using them. I'm going to switch over to another account and try to get some more practice with that. 1 second. Can I replace here? Let's replace this. Because honestly, as much as I love Hydra and the results that it got me in the previous couple seasons, I feel like I'm a little bit complacent by continuing to use Hydra. Thanks so much for the song name, of course. You stopped Hydra? I think I will continue using Hydra in like CWL in some cases, or like in esports if I see a base that has some weaknesses. But as for pushing, I think I want to try something different. Oh, there's Teslas here. I know this base. I think I'm going to try to abuse the Teslas. Let's use Ice Golem here to assist the approach. I did get everything there except for the CC. I definitely should have tried to get the CC. It almost looks like I didn't. Let's use the log launcher over here. I'm a little worried how this has gone. Not the smoothest. Maybe I can set up the revive with a good overgrowth here. I've already lost my warden, so let's just revive him. I feel like that's my only chance of properly recovering. Then 4XRS. What is this going to be? 86%. What's your favorite league skin? Definitely the King. I think the King is the best one. Mono area mostly baited with spring traps. I think should avoid taking throwers to that side. From my experience, I always pick the monolith side. And my experience with Hydra, which obviously wouldn't apply to throwers, right, so much, but sending the Queen and the Duke together into the monolith is almost never a good idea. Okay, I do think in this case here I want to hit the Catapult and the Multi-Infernal together with the Backpack Arrow. I'll drop the skeleton here just to distract the monolith. And I do think I got the split that I was looking for. Let's use a druid to assist the Duke a little bit. And then the King and log launcher. This one's looking pretty smooth so far. I'll use this overgrowth here to extend the funnel a bit. Try to keep troops moving over towards the town hall. My healers. Yeah, my healers didn't end up supporting me in the way I needed. This one might end up being a big fail. Let's just revive the king because I know he's at least going to secure the town hall. %, another 86, 87 this time. We get a new troop with Town Hall 19 in November? I'm not so sure, actually. Well, I mean, obviously we would get something, right? But there's nothing confirmed, you know? But, like, every single new Town Hall we've had a new troop. So if I had to guess, then there's definitely going to be something. Space is very boxy. I have a feeling I'm probably going to go for some kind of a diagonal setup here. Let's see this K-Catapult. It is a max level K-Catapult. You don't very often see that. And max level in the HP, I mean. I almost got the CC, but I missed it somehow. Let's just poison the witches. I'm actually going to let the queen die in this case. I don't typically like to do that, but I want a good funnel into the town hall area. It's pretty evident that I do need some more practice with this. I do think I have a safe 2-star, regardless of whatever happens. I could try to revive the Duke to pick up the Revenge Tower, but he's going to be going into a lot of other damage. So maybe I should just hold off. Just gonna revive him now, or else I'll not have anything left to do with it. 88%. What have I just done? I think I've done 86, 87, 88. I have. What are the chances of that? Okay, let's continue here. This base again. I did screw up the setup on this base, right? Like I missed the CC. So hopefully in this particular instance I won't miss the CC. I used an invis there to try to keep my queen alive, but obviously that didn't end up working. You can really tell I'm lacking the practice. And look, my healers are deciding to abandon me here. So it's game over for this particular attack once again. I'm just gonna hope that I don't 1-star here. Let's just use the overgrowth to cover off the Inferno. Slowly but surely inching to 100%, yeah. It'll happen eventually. It's funny because I was tripling everything and then now I'm like almost failing everything. I don't even know if I'll get the town hall. I think I will, but there it is. The revenge tower will ultimately stop me in the end. That's a matter of fact. Let's just revive the Duke, get this percentage. And what do we think? Is it going to be 89%? I have a feeling it might be. What are the odds of that? %. I don't have any more cleanup. 88. Alrighty. I do think that's my sign to call it good on these hits. I definitely need more practice with this before I send it into Legends. Suncut, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. I wish I was doing some triples for you to learn how to use this army properly, but the truth is that I'm also learning. Why not switch to another strategy with throwers instead of backpack arrow? Why not monolith arrow? That's a good question. I could go into friendly challenges and figure out the answer to that question myself. Which skin is worth buying, the Lich Prince or the Mage Warden in the season? If I had to pick only one, I'd probably pick the Warden, right? Because the Warden's used in almost like every attack. The Mage Warden isn't even available yet, so. Zaki Clashing, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you, bro. I hope your exam went well. Can I come to this clan and record the attacks? Yeah, if there's anybody's attacks you should record, it's Faizy's, because he is the one that is doing a great job with this thrower strategy. He's got multiple finishes, including, I think that his rank 75 finish was with throwers, but that was months ago. So I do hope that he can beat that this season. He did have a good last season with the throwers. I think he got like 160 or something like that. Let's just do one more. Hopefully I triple this. I'll do one more hit. I don't want to sound like an addict, but I don't want to end the stream on a fail. Faizy is Indian? Nah, he's from Pakistan. I went to record your CWL hits. Yeah, you should definitely come over soon then, because we're going to be spinning Classic War later today. Let's check the level on this Kakapult. It is a max level HP Kakapult, so I think that means I need to use all of my Quakes on that. Do hope to see everything go over to the right. Yes. Yeah, finally I got the setup I was looking for. I think this is gonna be a pretty easy triple. Hopefully that monolith goes down soon. It does. And now we can use overgrowth like right over here. I'll use the skeleton spell to help disable the logger guardian. Probably going to end up swagging the rest of my army here. I don't think any substantial damage is remaining on this base. Nice and easy, and yeah, it is good to end the stream on a triple. I'm going to call it good for the night. It was obviously good to finish in third place. I did clutch a win for us. I say clutch, but that was after doing 2 fails right. It's not as insane as yesterday was, where I had to do all 6 of my hits as triples. Thankfully I pulled through yesterday, and we did finish global rank 9. Although I think that the performance is a bit comparable, especially beyond Sky High, because they had a pretty decent destruction percentage. So it's hard to compare these different ranks because of the fact that our group was the only one with 8 clans. So still a good result, global rank 9. And yeah, very nice way to end the week. And yeah. There will be a video soon on the hits I did yesterday, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, have a great night, take care, and peace.